Hania Aamir, it is a pleasure to have you here at BBC Asian Network. How are you?
I am okay. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here because I think it's been like maybe 4 or 5 years since we've done an interview in person, right?
Yeah, in person, yeah, it's been a couple of years.
How is this Hania different to that Hania in 2018?
Really different. She knew nothing at that time, and now she knows some of the things. She was a lot more innocent. And yeah, I think just not much, just experiences have shaped me. And not a lot has happened. I think just career. I think there are a lot of similarities, if anything. Like I'm still kind of the same person. I still jump into things without thinking about them too much. I still like my craft. So yeah. What do you see? What difference do you see?
I think I see a wiser Hania today.
Yeah.
But I also see a less excited Hania than I saw a few years ago. Like, I remember the first time I met you when you came in for Na Maloom Mafraad 2. You came here with the rest of the cast and you were bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and you were soaking it all in and you were jumping off the walls at that time.
Yes.
Is that something you've had to curb yourself, or is that something that fades away by being in this industry for a longer period of time?
No, I don't think it has anything to do with the industry. I think it's more about your own personal journey. And I think with time, I figured out that this is the kind of person I am. I enjoy being quieter. I enjoy my own time. I can be full of energy and jumping off the walls. I can do that. But whenever I want to, whenever my body and my mind makes me feel like, okay, this is a time that you want to go see people, or this is when you want to step out, or this is the time when you just want to be by yourself. So I just listen to myself.
I remember watching Parvaz Hai Junoon and telling you at that time that I thought you were excellent. I thought you were an excellent performer. I thought the way you lit up the screen was magnetic. And I've seen your drama since then as well. And I feel like the rest of the world has woken up to that as well. Yeah. How gratified does it feel for you to see your audience accept your talent for what it is, to be able to acknowledge your talent for what it is?
Oh, it's just a really crazy feeling. You don't know what hit you. At that time, I think when Mere Humsafar happened, and that's what we were talking about, I don't think any of us thought it would become what it did.
I think even before that, like Ishqiyan, I think really...
It did really well.
Yeah,
it did really well, but Mere Humsafar was something else completely. When that happened, I didn't really realize what had happened, but then more and more people started recognizing me. The followers on Instagram went insane. People started making videos and edits of me, and it went quite insane. So I think initially, because at the end of it, at the core of it, you're just a little human being, right? You're sensitive and innocent, and you don't know what's going on. And these are the worldly things that you kind of get used to. So I think at that time it scared me slightly, where I was like, that I don't know how to handle this, or I don't know why is this happening. But with time, I learned how this is my work and I don't need to get caught up in the noise of it, but just have to focus on the craft and be humble enough to accept and understand that these people love me for my craft and for who I am. So I need to keep that intact.
But as you become more famous, as more of your dramas do well, more and more people want a piece of you. More and more people want a piece of the pie. They want to capitalize on your success. They want you to do more commercially viable projects as well. So how do you retain control of Hania Aamir when everybody is trying to tell you what Hania Aamir should be, or where she should be, or how she should be?
I don't know. I think this used to be a very initial problem that I used to deal with when I was new, because I was that girl who was full of energy and wanted to experience everything too quickly. I think at that time I was being told to be slightly sober up yourself. Like how, before this started, we were talking about short hair, how it's just not a thing in the drama industry. So just like that, I think I had to deal with that more, fighting for my own identity. But now I think when you have spent so much time, you have also understood the kind of things you like and you don't like and the kind of person you want to become. So I think now it's, with time and with experience, you learn a lot about yourself, and you can, with a strong mentality, strong mental health, you can always shut that noise down.
It's not easy though, right?
It's not easy. It takes a lot of patience. I mean, if somebody tells you, oh, this jacket does not look good on you, how many times are you going to hear that?
That wasn't a very nice thing.
I mean, it looks great. It looks great. For example, okay, or maybe you say, oh, this is not your color.
No,
right?
I understand, yeah.
So if you say this is not your color, I'd be like, okay, but I like it, right? Or maybe the second time I'd be like, hey, what's your problem? Fifth, sixth time you keep saying the same thing, I am going to develop more patience, but it will be emotionally draining, of course. But so that's how it happens. You just develop patience.
But you know, when people keep telling you to do things in a certain manner, it does get to a point where it kind of starts chipping away at your enthusiasm for doing that thing sometimes as well. Like, you are so consistent with your presence on social media, which I want to talk more about in a moment as well. But I see the comments, you know, and the comments are relentless. The comments are relentless under every post. And when you see the same thing written the same time, like every time, people judging your moral character or judging how you dress or, you know, your tattoos, for example, whatever it might be, it eventually gets to a point where it starts chipping away at your love for that thing. Or does it not?
No, not really. You gotta learn to keep it separate. I think social media, these comments, I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's when people close to me, if my manager or my mom tells me you're doing something wrong in life, I listen to them because they matter and they've seen me grow, and their opinion will matter. But people of course they can have opinions. They can tell me short hair does not look good, your tattoo is not good. They can tell me that. They can have an opinion. Do I have to listen to it? And I'm not saying that you need to have thick skin or whatever. If I see it, I will feel bad. Hey, why are you telling me these things? But then to process that and to understand that these are people's with opinions, and I have put myself out there, so they will have opinions. Of course, they shouldn't be harsh, and one should always advocate not talking negatively on social media, not shaming people. But I really don't care if people have issues with my hair or anything, like negative comments. I don't see it much. I think that's also one thing that I do.
How do you do that? Give everybody a little bit of a tip, because everybody uses social media and nobody is free from criticism on social media, but it's human nature almost to look at the comment section. How do you not?
Perspective, I think. Just knowing that it's not going to, anyone saying anything about me is not going to change who I am, be it good or bad. So if they say, oh, you look beautiful, and I read, right now if I post something, the first 50 will be really nice. I'll have to dive in to find something really bad. But even if the first 50 comments say that I look really nice, if that validates me in some way, it is still wrong. So be it positive or negative, one should never let anyone decide what they're about.
And obviously, your success on social media comes from, particularly at the start, your success as a drama actress, right? People liked you on TV, and then that resulted in them following you on social media, and then you grew that following online as well. But that's such murky water, because there is there's like a stereotype of what a social media celebrity is or what a content creator is, as opposed to an actress. So how do you choose to balance that line? Because there is a difference.
Why should I choose? I mean, you know, why does one need to? Why do I have to box myself and be like, hey, I'm an actor, so I cannot be honest on social media? Why does that have to happen?
Because I guess what happens for some people, not all, is that their work or their content creation on social media starts to overshadow their work as an actor, and people start thinking of them as only that.
It's not that deep, to be honest. I don't think it's that deep. I don't know. I think my perspective on life is just very different.
Have you always had this perspective?
No. People do ask such questions, and then that does make you think for a second. or a night or two. But then you have to see. I think we really owe it to ourselves, especially when we're in such an industry which is so volatile, and it makes you volatile as well. You really have to take care of yourself and remind yourself to center yourself every now and then. You have to check in with yourself. If you're okay, if you're not okay, do you want to do this? Do you not want to do this? What do you stand for? How are you actually feeling? You have to do that if you want to grow in this industry or you want to keep doing what you're doing. It's just the way it is. So I don't look at it that seriously. You can be an actor and you can also want to be a chef. You can also have a social media persona and also be a teacher. Why do you have to box yourself up?
So, there's a lot of actors who say that using social media avidly blurs the lines for them. So when they go on set and they need to get into the mind frame of a character, that noise from social media, that projection on social media can influence them being able to focus on their craft. Is that not something that you face as well?
That happens, like I said, when you let it validate you. It does nothing for me. The only reason I'm on social media is because of the business point of view. Let's be honest, the more followers you have, the more money you get to post something, right? One is that. The second is I over the years, I have built a community of people who get me, who understand me. If I talk about mental health, they are those people who understand, who will message me, hey, I'm feeling this way. Can you talk about this? Or what's your take on this? So over time, I've built this community of people who understand me and understand that an actor can have a normal life. So I kind of use it to just cut through the facade of it all. That's all that my goal is. If someone says you're pretty or you're not pretty, I'm not trying to validate myself through any of it. So I don't think it says anything about me. If I can do anything good using social media, that's great.
And like you said, you raise awareness about mental health, and you've spoken openly about your own mental health journey as well. And that's a very vulnerable space to put yourself in on the internet, right? Like to talk openly about things that normally people want to keep private, because you're also actually experiencing those emotions at the same time. To then document it and share it and talk about it feels like an added layer of, not necessarily pressure, but just an added layer that you have to think about as well. So what made you go kind of, I guess, public with your own mental health challenges?
The reason anyone goes public with any of the challenges they face, because they don't want other people to go through the same things. They want them to know the remedies that are available. And it's such a social taboo to talk about mental health. It has been, not anymore, thankfully, alhamdulillah, but it has been for such a long time. So I always say this, that I get scared of the fame that I have, because I feel like, when I meet God, what am I going to tell him? What if he asks me, what did you do with whatever I gave you? And I have no answer. I just posted pretty pictures and that was it. I made a lot of money. It just doesn't sit well with me. So yeah, in any way that I can have a positive impact or can just make people laugh with stupid stuff that I post, and that's it.
I think that is definitely one of the things that you do so well, is just make people smile.
Yeah.
Like even your Ramadan vlogs that you were doing daily on Instagram, they were just fun because, you were showing the reality of what was going on. I don't think you get much, you don't really see a lot of access to actors working during Ramadan as well. So that was quite interesting as well to see that you were all opening your fast together and you were all having iftari together. And some days you were staying awake till Sehri, sometimes you were forcing yourself to go to sleep.
Yeah.
But that happiness that you give people, what's the tangible result you've seen of that? Like, what do people come and say to you about the impact that your off-screen persona has on them?
Just happiness, I think. Just a good laugh, a good time. And some of them learn a thing or two, be it me trying to sleep on time or the way I went to gym although I had a packed schedule. Like, I don't know, you don't know what can impact what person in what way. You don't know. So I think just being authentic really helps, because a lot of people can then connect with that.
It feels like you wear your authenticity now unapologetically.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like when I first met you a few years ago, you did as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like there might have been a little bit of a slump in the couple of years after that, where you were still quite new in your career. There were probably still a lot of people telling you about what you should do, how you should do, etc. And now I see a fearless, unapologetic Hania.
Yeah.
Is that a fair assessment to make?
I was like that at that time as well, like this at that time as well. I still have my battles. I'm here spending Eid with my sister because I need a break from everything. So every now and then you have to just center yourself and be like, okay, I'm not feeling too good. I need something new. At that time, it was a lot of excitement and innocence and didn't know, coming to mental health, didn't know what I was going through, why I was reacting this way, or why did I like this thing so much. I was figuring it out. So I think I figured most of it out now. And now I just sit calmly in most of my time. At that time, I was just jumping around.
I mean, there are reasons for you to jump around now as well. Like you
Yeah, of course.
like what you've achieved is amazing. You have no connections to the industry.
Yeah.
You're not from Karachi, which is where the hub of the entertainment industry is
Yeah.
now. You were very young when you were started, 17?
17, 18.
18
Yeah.
when you started. You must be proud of what you've achieved, right?
Yeah. It all happened so quickly. I was just thinking about it the other day that I don't remember most of it. It just one thing after the other, one thing after the other, and I never stopped to see what was happening or how tired I was getting or if it was taking a toll on me or not. I never stopped. So I think this is just advice for new people who get in. They should always stop and think at some points when body says stop, you should stop. But at that time, I think it was just excitement that kept me going. And also, a lot of people come to you and tell you things like, it makes you fearful of things that are to come and just your future in the industry. They say a lot of things. So I think because of that, I just kept going and tried to stay true to myself as much as I could, made a lot of friends. I did all of that. But then I think now I've just understood this is the person I am. I'm just a chiller.
Do you think your personality rubs people up the wrong way as well? Because you are a chiller, and in this industry, people keep up appearances a lot. Like, even if somebody is feeling low, they won't talk about it openly. Even if somebody is wanting to be chill like you are, they will put on a facade of feeling like they need to impress the room. So do you think that's something that can rub people up the wrong way?
I think with me, I've spent so much time with so many of my colleagues that I think they understand. And I think we don't put up that facade with each other. We have each other's back, and if I'm feeling low, I will probably call one of my colleagues and be like, hey, I'm not feeling too good. Because, you get each other. You get where it's coming from. So it's always helpful, I believe. And if I do feel like somebody is putting up a facade, I will always question them. There are all sorts of people, right? Not everyone's the same. So there are people around me as well who are like me, who will question, why are you sad? Or you don't look okay? Or what's wrong? Between us, there's not much of a facade. But I think when we step out to work, that's when you have to put your armor on and you're like, okay, let's go.
I think with women, particularly in the entertainment industry, they are expected to look perfect all the time, behave perfectly all the time, talk perfectly all the time. And I think a lot of women in the entertainment industry, both in Pakistan and in India as well, are forced to put on that act when they are in public places. So for you to be able to remain who you are and how you're naturally feeling, I'm guessing could come across as you being difficult sometimes as well.
See, I have to be honest with myself. If I don't feel like stepping out, I shouldn't step out, right? If I don't feel like talking to somebody, why am I going in a crowd? But at the same time, when I'm at work, I'm at work. I gotta work and I gotta be nice to people and I have to do my thing and I have to be honest with myself. So at work is different, but in public, if you're not feeling good, I think it has nothing to do. It's not a gender bias thing. It's not something like that. I think I have a lot of friends who are not from the industry and they go through the same thing. They might not be feeling up to it. They're in a crowd. They're like, I just want to go home. And then you talk to them for like 10 minutes. If they want to stay, they stay. If they don't, they leave. It's not that big of an issue. But yeah, there's a pressure when you have public appearances, when you're at work. if you're going through something, you just have to talk yourself out of it. You have to be like, okay, I'll do this, and then I'm going to go home and cry about it, and I'm going to deal with it tomorrow. So you got to do that bit.
I mean, I think that is one of the things that you do so well on Instagram is teach people to be authentically themselves. Like you don't change your mood according to the fact that you're on that platform. You will just project whatever you are at that time. And I think it's inspirational for a lot of people who are watching who are struggling with their own sense of authenticity as well. But that must come with now a responsibility. The fact that you're so influential to 13 million people must come with a lot of responsibility.
Yes, I think anyone who has a voice has social responsibility. They have a lot of weight on their shoulders. But whatever, I think about these things a lot. So I was thinking about it the other day as well. So I was thinking about social responsibility and how everyone who has even a little bit of voice and can amplify a voice should talk about the things that are close to them and be as authentic as possible. But at the same time, now this is a question, just for debate purposes. But then I thought that I have seen so many of my colleagues so anxious because of the kind of the industry is. And even people outside of the industry, my friends who have nothing to do with the entertainment industry, they're barely doing their day-to-day chores because they're depressed or pressure from families or work is bad or whatever. And imagine they have a voice. Would you want them to leave whatever they're doing and still talk about the things that matter? That's what comes to my head. Would you?
I think there's no right, or I don't think there's a wrong or right. I think if you choose the path of staying quiet and keeping your personal feelings and your personal, because it's all part of personal development, right? If you keep your personal development off a public platform, I think it's a easier life for you because you're already going through that process of
I'm talking about social responsibility. Like if I have to talk about something, is there a have to?
I don't think you have to.
Do you have to?
I don't think you have to. The fact that you choose to is something that you're doing off your own back, right? You're choosing to lend your voice to a cause that you feel passionately about because you want to help somebody else's life.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of actors get judged now if they don't as well, right? Like a lot of actors get judged for not speaking.
That's where the thought comes from.
Yeah.
That I don't know what they're going through. Maybe they don't know enough about it or they just can't at this point. Well, anyway, coming back to the question, there is that burden, the weight of social responsibility, and I think one with any kind of voice, small, big, you can influence 10 people, 12 people. That's great. You should use it for anything constructive. It should be used for constructive.
I mean, you do, like I said, you do that. But I think what I see is you do it so much. But what if now there is something that you don't speak up on? I feel like you'll then be judged for not speaking up on that thing. I feel like there's constantly that back and forth.
Like I said, people have their own reasons for not speaking about certain things. And if I don't, I hope that doesn't happen. But if I don't, I'll be okay with it, because it's okay if people are judging me for it. I know my reasons, and it's fine.
You know what I love is that you're not 100% a content creator. You are 100% an actor with a sprinkle of content creation on the side. Yeah. But what's great is that your on-screen work is just as exciting. It's not like the social media is more overpowering than the other. Right now you're doing a drama with Fahad Mustafa. Last year, Mujhe Pyar Hua Tha was a massive success all around the world. How did the reaction to that drama as well influence your choices in what to pick next?
I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't think it influenced anything. I think I'm still the same person who wants a good script, a good role.
Do you think you get exciting enough scripts?
Sometimes.
Do you get the kind of scripts that you want to do?
Rarely. Yeah, no.
Why?
We don't experiment with women's characters that much. It just, I don't know. Writers, hello, please. I mean,
what female roles do you see internationally and you feel inspired and you feel like if only Pakistani writers and filmmakers or TV directors could give me something like this? Not the same. It's not like you want to copy somebody else's work, but you watch it and you feel inspired.
I think what we lack from a woman's perspective is to have a successful woman not be villainized. I think that's something that rarely ever happens. So I think that would be interesting to watch, that she's a nice person, but she works. So just going to work doesn't just make her a villain all of a sudden. I think that's something that I see
With
less
short hair?
of. With short hair, yeah. Short hair is also a
What's
problem.
the short hair problem? What's the short hair problem? Honestly.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a universal thing. It's not just Pakistan, to be honest.
But Pakistani audiences have a problem with not just short hair, they have a problem with curly hair as well. I was speaking to Asma Abbasji a few years ago, and she was like, they keep straightening my hair. I don't want to straighten my hair. I just want my normal, natural hair.
Yeah.
With you, they keep putting extensions in your hair. What's the problem?
I think it's not just Pakistan. It's everywhere. I've also barely seen anyone with short hair in Bollywood, to be honest. The everyone that's mainstream would have long locks and beautiful hair. I think that's the connotation, the heroine connotation comes from, right? You just have to have that kind of hair. And if the wind is blowing and you are in a sari, you're a heroine. It's just associated with it. But you can. That is a problem. That's not okay. It is just. I'm just stating the facts. But what I think this generation's responsibility should be, or they should understand, is that little by little they need to push. You have to push, because like we're talking about short hair, I only push if I go to fashion shoots. I would tell them, okay, let's just do it in short hair. It will look nice. And of course, once or twice they'd be like, no, we want that look. But then the third time they would cave in. They'd be like, okay, let's see what it looks like. And then once one person does it, the other person will be like, oh, that looks fresh. That looks something like never done before. So we're gonna try that. So I think little by little we need to push, because I would not want anyone to come after me and like short hair, and just to put in extensions all the time. So I think that is our responsibility, just little by little push, because this mold has been set for years.
Who are we blaming?
We're blaming the first of the actors. We're blaming the people who started the industry, because I think they thought women look their most beautiful or the most feminine this way.
It's a conventional trope.
It is. So they just thought this way, right? So we have decades to push right now. So little by little, we'll get there.
So that's a good point. What are 3 things that maybe you have had to stand up for in your time as an actress so far that you hope will be easier for generations to come? So short hair is one. That's one. What are 2 other things that maybe you've experienced in the workforce that you hope aspiring young female actors don't have to also deal with?
Saying no to characters which are just eye candy, and being very, very open about it, that I don't want to do such characters. There's nothing to it. So that. Thirdly, I think the fact that you can openly be friends and in real life be friends with your colleagues. I think I didn't see much of that.
And people are still in disbelief when you say it as well.
Yes.
Like I saw you.
It is difficult. I've said it before. It is difficult to be friends with people in the industry, but you can be.
Is that because you're competing for the same work?
Of course. That does play a part. But it is not impossible. So yeah, I think that I have a lot of friends, and I have a great time with them, and I think it's easier when you're friends with people who do the same job as you, because then they get it.
Yeah,
they understand what you're going through.
I guess they get it sometimes better than your family get it, because your family have never experienced this world. Like, go ahead.
But no, I was just saying, to my surprise, every time I've asked my mom something, I've asked for advice about something from my work, she's always given me the simplest advice that works. So yeah, family gives great advice as well because they're coming from their, nurturing, simple ways. But it really helps talking to your colleagues.
What is the most excited reaction you've ever received from your mum to one of your pieces of work or to one of the pieces of work that you've told her you're doing? I have a prediction, but you can tell me.
She's not that involved, to be honest. She's such a simple person.
But she sees your work.
She does. I think... I can't remember because she'd just be like, oh, Mere Humsafar, she'd be like, oh, you cry so much, or itna rone ki zarurat nahi hai, and something like that. But she's not that involved. She watches them, she'd be like, oh, I like this one, or this is a little slow, or I didn't like it. She's simple in her ways.
Okay, so I have a prediction which I'll come to in a moment.
Okay.
Before that, though, because you mentioned Mere Humsafar. So I think you are a really fun personality. I think you have a great authenticity about you. But what's frustrating sometimes is I don't think your characters align with your personal morals. And I think a lot of the things that sometimes your characters might do, you wouldn't do in reality. Like, I really enjoyed watching Dilruba. And then at one point, this girl has to be punished for her persona and her personality and her being outspoken. And I don't think Hania Aamir aligns herself with those ideas. Is that a challenge you find in committing to doing projects, that they don't necessarily align with who you are as a person?
They have to align morally and ethically. In Dilruba as well, when she was being punished, she stood up for herself. And then the lesson that you take away from it is that there's nothing wrong with her being the way she is. If she did do something evil, she paid for it. So I think the problem comes when you glorify a character which is evil, or not even evil, or just ethically incorrect. So I think that's... So
how many scripts do you have to say no to? Because they all...
We don't get that many scripts that are that bad.
But even like women who are, they're downtrodden, they are oppressed, they are facing, some sort of misery in their households. It feels like those scripts a lot of the times are done by female actors who in reality don't align with those values themselves.
Of course, they're female actors. They're not in that household.
But how can surely if you reject those ideas in your own life, surely you can try and push back and say, stop the slaps, stop the...
Of course, definitely. There should be no slaps, of course. And everyone talks about it. I have not seen any slap documented on television right now for a very long time.
Do we think the slaps are gone?
I really think so.
Wow, that's a big deal.
Yeah. I think they're gone. The other day I was talking to my friend and he was shooting for a series, and he said that I was shooting with my co-actor and she had a huge bruise on her face, and I was like, what happened to you? And she's like, oh, your character slapped me. I was like, and he's like, no. And then she's like, no, but we've shot the whole thing and we just have to shoot the part where you're slapping me. So he didn't know, but he was very serious about it. He was like, okay, no, I'm going to sit them down and be like, this has to be taken out. Because there are a lot of times scripts are being written while you're shooting. So
that is wild. Yeah. So there could be characters being slapped and nobody even knows that it's going to happen until the edit.
Yeah. Until they do that scene. Yeah. So, but in all seriousness, I think nobody is okay with slaps on screen, on television screens. Yeah.
I tell you what I'm very excited about. You are starring in the first Netflix original series to be made from Pakistan with a huge ensemble cast. What can you tell us about this drama?
I don't know. What can I? It's definitely exciting, even for me as an actor. It's a huge deal to be working with such great actors. So I think if anything, it's just exciting, and I'm just glad that Pakistan is having its first Netflix series.
Have you shot your parts of the series yet?
Yes.
So there is Fawad Khan, Mahira Khan, Sanam Saeed, Hamza Ali Abbasi, Ahad Raza Mir, yourself, Ikra Aziz, Maya Ali. I'm sure I'm leaving out actors as well.
Khushal as well.
Khushal Khan as well. This is something like we've never seen, heard, imagined before. How much pressure does that feel like?
It's insane. It's quite crazy. I think, and I think me and Khushal and I think feel it the most because we're the youngest and we're just like, don't know how to go. Even Ikra, I don't know about Ikra because I haven't shot with her yet. So we still have to talk about it. But I think it's a lot of pressure. When I spoke to Ahad as well, I think everyone just feels like, I don't know what's going to happen. You know, we just hope that it's good. But a lot of pressure as actors.
Because also, it is the first of its kind. Nothing like this has happened before. And there is such anticipation for it as well. I mean, I can only imagine that you must all be talking about how this has to be perfect.
Yes, we talk about that a lot. So that's the pressure, that it has to be perfect and that there's also excitement.
And yet at the same time, there's so many lead actors in this, all superstars in your own right. How do you make sure that each one of you shines? Let's forget everybody else. How do you make sure you shine in and amongst such a huge ensemble?
I don't know, just be true to your character and just do your job. I think the more you stress about that bit, the more underwhelming your performance will be. When you stress about your performance that much. So I think everyone just has to deliver their bits. And yeah.
Okay, because I say that knowing that as an actor, when you get offered a role like you have in this series, is it an immediate yes? Is it an immediate yes because it's Netflix, it's More Madrid, it's a big production? Is it a yes straight away? Or is there an element of, I guess ego creeps into anyone who's like, there's a lot of people here. You know, am I going to get the right role? Am I going to be lost in the crowd? You know, how do you navigate those thoughts?
So I think, honestly, my first reaction was, what? And the second was, what am I doing in it? Because I wanted to know what I'm doing in it. And then I was told there's a huge cast. So I was like, okay, what is my bit? And then I was told my bit and I understood. I think for me, I think for any actor, you'll hear all of them say this. Doesn't matter if you're on screen for 5 minutes. If you like what you're doing and you think it's going to be impactful, you should go ahead and do it. So I think just being honest with your craft really helps making such decisions.
And because it is Netflix, do you feel like the scale of it is bigger than anything on Pakistani TV right now? I guess for many actors who I've interviewed over the years who've dreamt of a big streamer like Netflix doing something with Pakistan, the ambition was always that the scale will be bigger, the budget will be bigger, it will push boundaries a bit more. Do you feel like that's a reality?
Yeah, definitely. The audiences are much bigger, but our drama audiences are also big.
No, I mean in terms of the actual production of the show.
Yes, of course. Of course. It is a bigger project. It is bigger and hopefully it's going to be better and I just hope everyone will enjoy it.
So I'm trying to get as much out of you as I can about this show. And you're giving me nothing.
I am
She's
shutting down.
giving me nothing. Are you sharing screen space with Fawad? Are you two in different generations? Are you playing a younger version of Mahira? Is that what it is? Is it like a generational, like she's 10 years in the future, you're 10 years in the past?
No, suddenly I just can't hear you anymore.
Are you playing Fawad's daughter?
Hello?
Are you and Ikra
I am not getting in trouble with Mom Nader or Netflix. I'm not doing
vying
this.
for Ahad's character's love?
Huh, what? What?
Are you and Kushal brother and sister?
I'm not saying anything. Just gonna look at myself in the screen.
Is this set in now, present, or are you in the past?
I'm not saying anything.
Do you play a ghost? You can at least say no to that one. Like, that's not going to give me anything.
I'm not a ghost.
Excellent. We got something out of her. She's not.
I'm a real person.
Oh, can you tell me how it's pronounced, though? Because it's a long title.
Jo bache hain sang samet lo.
Jo bache hain sang
Sang
samet lo. So what's left, gather it all together.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of the characters die. Huh? So whoever's left alive.
You're good.
So whoever's left alive.
But I'm better.
Get them all together.
I'm not giving you anything.
I really tried, Hania.
You did. You went the ghost route.
Give me something.
Buddy.
Your name?
No. I will only give you as much
Lisa.
as they have
Is there a
announced on
Lisa?
Variety.
Is there a Lisa in there?
Of course there's a Lisa.
Are you Lisa?
That I don't know. But everyone's read the novel, so.
No, not everybody's read the novel.
I mean, people who care about it have.
But I don't want to spoil it for myself.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
So now I was considering it.
It's a little different, though. Hey, I gave you something there.
Is the ending different?
I haven't read it. Please.
That's a good point. So when you got offered it, did you read the novel?
Yes, I did a run through, yes.
Do you have the best role in the show?
What is wrong with you?
I have to. You're giving me nothing at all. Why don't you
It's
just?
a little different from the book.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a ghost.
You're not a ghost.
And Lisa is an actual character.
But you're not going to tell us if you're in the
These are
same.
three answers I've given you.
You're not going to tell us if you're in the same generation or same time span as.
Who gave you this idea?
You know, there's a lot of rumors. There's Reddit forums about this.
I don't know, man.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
do you get amazed?
What?
Do you get a bit amazed about the intrigue that people on the other side of the border have about you?
Really? Do they?
In India, like obviously
Are they intrigued?
They're very intrigued, right? They're very intrigued because I guess since 2016 we know that no Pakistani actors have been able to work in Bollywood, and I would say that since 2016 you are the most popular amongst the new generation of Pakistani actors who have gained admiration in India. Firstly, does that surprise you? How do you take that? Is it a bit odd sometimes waking up and seeing so much love from a country that you can't go to or actually go and meet the people physically of? Like, how do you process that?
It's not strange because I think since the very beginning I've been of the thought that, you know, we're so alike. So it's really difficult to not like each other. But yeah, what does make me a little sad is that I can't meet them or thank them in person or, you know, just that. So I get really excited when I meet Indians over here in London, you know, I meet them. So I get really excited, but it's really heartwarming, to be honest, to get so much love from them. It's really nice.
Why do you think that you have gained that popularity, not at the cost of somebody else, but just more than somebody else? Because there are several Pakistani actors who are popular amongst fans internationally, and it's not limited to just the Pakistani diaspora, but you have reached another level of popularity.
I don't know these facts, so I don't know.
As in, you don't think that's true?
I've never thought about it.
I mean, the comments kind of tell you themselves. Like, for example, there are so many Bollywood actors who follow you. Shehnaz Gill, who's probably the biggest social media celebrity from that side of the border, is commenting under your posts. You're friends with a lot of these celebrities as well. That's where I make that assumption from, that you have somehow managed to break through to a very saturated pool of celebrities on the other side of the border. They're not short of their own celebrities, and somehow your content has managed to make it into that space. But why do you think that is?
I think because of the relatability of the content. I think the same question question and answer session we had in the beginning, I think it's the same. That it's the relatability of the content and it's how human you are on the internet. And yeah, I think it would be exciting for me to also see an actor just be real with me for once.
You need to give me some tips on something.
What?
You know every trending song before anybody else. Like, I work on the radio. I play music for a living. And sometimes I find my music through your reels.
I don't know. I watch a lot of content, fun content.
Is somebody sending you these songs? Like,
No.
you made like a Yimmy Yimmy video before anybody else. You did the softly transition trend before anybody else was doing it. A lot of times you are on it before anybody else. How?
I don't know. I don't know. I also have singer friends, so, you know, they tell me, oh, this song is coming out. And I'm like, okay, if I like it, I make a reel.
And at the same time, how do you remember, like that video you did where you were doing all of Shah Rukh's poses, right? Like how on earth do you remember that I need to remember to do this pose when I get there and this pose when I get there? How do you remember?
That one is my favorite video. I'm so glad you talked about it. So a friend of mine made it first. I can't claim it. He was the brains behind it. So he did it first, but of course he's not popular, so nobody saw it.
Is it true that you said to him, nobody's going to watch yours, so I'll do mine instead?
Yes, but it's true. He's my friend. He got it. He's like, okay, fine. But then I named him in an interview as well, and then we will reposted his stuff as well.
So you gave him his due, basically.
He did it a long time ago, by the way. He
Okay.
did it some time ago, but I think it was already a trend on the internet. It was something that I missed.
But also, your hair and makeup artist must hate you quite a lot.
Why?
Because you keep interrupting them to do another transition. So just when they're done with one phase.
No. I think I've only done one transition where I was getting my makeup done. All the other transitions I've done it myself.
And you still remember.
Remember to
actually pick up the phone in the middle of what you're doing.
Of course. I like it. I think it's super fun. And I think it's so stupid. I love it. It's so much fun.
It is fun.
You're doing it for nothing. Why not just do something? Why can't you do something so random?
No, I just think it's great that you remember to do it. Like, has it just become part of the Hania Aamir routine? Like, hair, makeup, reel? Like, is it just part of the structure?
No. Some days I'd be like, I don't want to use my phone at all today. Or, so there are days. If I'm excited on a day, I'm like really looking forward to something and I feel creative, and I found an audio that I really want to use, or there's a new song that I'm obsessing over, that day I might make a video.
What songs are you obsessing over at the moment?
Goddamn. That's good.
Yeah, Badshah and Haroon Rashid.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You're just saying that because they're your friends.
No.
You're just saying that because you party with them in Dubai and Badshah's your mate, and some people think you're in a relationship. Like you're just adding fuel to the fire.
No, it is a great song.
It is a great song.
It is a great song. And I sometimes think that my only problem is that I'm not married. Because if I was, I would be away from so many of these rumors.
This is true, and actually, I didn't.
This is true, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely true. I didn't want to go down that line of questioning.
Let's not.
I think it's like a ridiculous rumor. Like I think it's a ridiculous rumor, and I think it's ridiculous that news articles were written about yours and Badshah's rumored relationship because it is ridiculous. There was nothing except two friends commenting under one another's posts and hanging out together. And I do think if you were married, you would have got none of that stick.
Yeah. So I don't know why that happens. Anyone. It's not even just Badshah. Anyone. Any singleton around me.
You and Heather Mustahsen? That was a music video.
Oh, that was a music video.
But not...
No, we promoted it that way. It's not their fault.
This is your fault.
With Heather, it's not their fault. Because it was a music video that we promoted. And it was a very cute music video.
It was...
But apart from that, whoever, it's quite ridiculous, actually.
How did yours and Badshah's friendship start?
Hey, that's a personal question.
You're both public figures. It's fair game.
Nothing. It was just Instagram, and on one of my crazy reels, he commented something, and my friend went like, I think Badshah commented on your post. And I was like, really? And then I looked at it, and he had DM'd me, so we just spoke a little bit.
Who is the strangest person to slide into your DMs? And I don't mean in like a creepy way. I mean in a very complimentary, we love your content kind of way.
I have a really good answer to this. I have an answer, but I will tell you off camera because it's really good.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not somebody famous. I'm just going to tell everyone. It's not like somebody famous
but
and
someone
crazy,
cool.
but
it's cool.
I think this person's cool.
Okay. You can tell me after.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I don't even think you know about them.
You can tell me anyway after.
Okay.
We'll talk about it after.
But it was really nice.
But what I love is that people who like your content are very open and vocal about it, like Badshah. Like, it's not just like a one-off kind of appreciation here and there. He's consistently complimenting your videos and talking about you. And I think it's only fair that you compliment his work just as much here on BBC Asian Network.
Badshah is a great friend. He is such a nice, simple human being. Apart from his Badshah persona, he is a really nice person. And he's just so real. And I think that's one thing that's common, and that's why we're friends. And to be honest, if I'm feeling low or if I'm not posting that much, he would inquire, what's wrong? What happened? So that also happens.
Those words aren't enough. I'm going to need you to ask you to put on your headphones, please.
Ooh. Oh my goodness, where are we going?
And I would like to introduce you to a game that I play on my show called Superfan.
What?
Now, this is Super.
It's time for Superfan.
I'm a super fan. Badshah ka fan.
Okay.
Here's what happens, Hania.
Okay.
I quiz people about their favourite stars, their favourite singers, their
Okay.
favourite movies. I give you 60 seconds. You need to answer 10 questions
Me?
correct. Yes. And if you answer 10 questions correct, you are a super fan. Now, considering Badshah is a good friend of yours,
He's a new friend.
he's a good friend.
He's a good friend. The new.
He's a new good friend.
New good friend. Oh
New
my
good
God.
friend. But you are
I was so calm. All this time.
You were a fan of his music before your friendship? You weren't?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you nervous?
Yes.
Don't be. You're going to be absolutely fine. I've got
Okay.
some questions here. You need to answer 10 correct to be a super fan. Nothing rests on this except your reputation,
And your friendship?
your friendship. Just remember while you're answering these questions how much love he has publicly shown for you. And if you can't reciprocate in the same manner, then this feels like a one-sided
He has
friendship.
never answered questions about my career, by the way.
Has he watched your dramas?
No.
He'll watch the Netflix series where you're not playing a ghost. Right. Your 60 seconds
Oh my goodness.
is about to begin. You can say pass at any point, but I only have like a certain amount of questions, so don't say pass too many times, okay? Here we go.
Let's go!
Name his hit song picturized on Katrina Kaif.
Tarifa. What?
Who
Oh, no.
does he collaborate with on Players?
Karan Aujla.
Finish the lyric. Jinnachi tu Delhi hile hai London.
Matak matak jase Raveena Tandon.
True or false? His real name is Aditya Dharamraj Kashyap.
Yes.
Which of his breakthrough
He's Aditya,
Bollywood chartbusters is named after a name of the week? A day of the week.
Saturday.
Sing the intro to DJ Wale Babu.
Mera gana chala do.
Sing it.
DJ Wale Babu mera gana chala do. You just... That's so evil.
What is his signature sign-off on his tracks?
Isho boy Badshah.
Abhi to party shuru hui hai, Tarifa or Baby ko bass pasand hai. Which of these is not picturized on Sonam Kapoor?
I don't know that bit. I have no idea. Pass.
Name any 2 songs he has sung with Diljit Dosanjh.
Naina.
We'll give you it.
Thank you.
What song is this the intro to?
इससे आगे तो नहीं पता.
What's the song called?
No idea. It's not called No Idea. I have no idea.
Anything?
I know this part. I know this part.
Okay, we'll give you that. But we
Okay.
have to keep going.
Huh? Okay.
Which of these songs does Badshah not have a rap on?
Okay.
Aklar Jave, Munna Badnaam Hua, or Jhume Jo Pathan?
Munna Badnaam Hua or Munni Badnaam Hua?
Munna Badnaam Hua.
That's a song?
It's a song.
You sure it's a song?
I promise you, I'll play it for you after this.
I think the last one.
The last one. You're saying the last one he doesn't have a rap on. That's correct answer. He doesn't have a rap on Jhume Jo Pathan. And one more question for you.
Yeah, I know that.
Name either of the actors in the video for Garmi.
Garmi is that one. Varun Dhawan.
That is correct. Hania, I don't think you got 10 correct, but you know, for all your efforts, you're a super fan. You're a real friend. We'll give it to you anyway. I actually think you got more wrong than right.
He will be so flattered.
I asked you to name his hit song Picturize on Katrina Kaif. You said Tarifa.
Tarifa?
There's so many actresses in Tarifa. Katrina Kaif is not one of them.
Oh, I thought Kareena Kapoor.
Yes, Kareena Kapoor and
Anyway.
Sonam Kapoor. The
Yes,
Katrina Kaif song I was looking
mixed it
for
up. I'm sorry.
was...
Oh, you're giving me another chance?
Yes.
Katrina.
Katrina.
Kaif.
Katrina, she looks amazing. She's dancing with Siddharth Malhotra. She's wearing black sunglasses. Black sunglasses.
Kala Chashma. I did the whole thing.
I said to you, true or false, his real name is Aditya Dharamraj Kashyap.
I wasn't told I was going to be shamed for this as well afterwards.
I'm helping you.
Okay.
His real name is Aditya Dharamraj Kashyap.
His name is Aditya.
Aditya Dharamraj Kashyap is Shahid Kapoor's name in Jab We Met. Badshah's real name is Aditya Prateek Singh Sisodia. There is no similarity.
In my defense, it's easier to memorize my name. Look at that. That's like him and his neighbors and everyone.
What song is Sajna? Tere liye Sajna. It's called Sajna. Say yes to the dress.
Say yes to the dress.
Say yes to the dress.
That's what it's called?
I mean, if you have a problem, you can message him, but it's cool.
That's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's fine.
You know what, Hania? It has been a real pleasure having you here.
Goodness. Yeah.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. That was really anxiety-inducing.
Was that more anxiety than the whole interview?
Yes.
Then that's good. That means the interview was a success. Hania, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.